Eho mai, eho mai, eho mai, ike pono e malioma e mahina e la e aina e kuolo e laka e lono e equinox ahu shasta apu shasta keloha ike pono telos e kie ke aloha e ke aloha e ke aloha e. Ke aloha, beloved family. This is MiraKle King. It is a super joyous day to be alive and free with the wind, the sun, the sacred stones, these beautiful trees. It's all right here. To presence in the most authentic, vibrational way of Ka University. Telos. Ka-mu is the great silence after union, which births the universe, which births and reveals the university. Ka-mu University. Telos. Oh, wow. So this one's been a long time coming. Yes, long time. And yet, with just a breath of that mana prana, we are right here in the perfect moment to share. Calm University, Telos. So, Communiversity has been what Kamu has been building up to. It is the birth of the universe. Truly, when the divine unified feminine and the divine unified masculine converge together in sacred space unionship, that is every single human soul's desire, longing to come back to unionship. We go through relationships, we go through partnerships, we get married by the state, by the government. But all of these things have no bearing on divine unionship, which starts within our hearts, within our bodies, within our souls, and it is a practice. It is a meditation. It is an ownership of all the parts of ourselves that have literally chosen to believe that anyone or anything or any entity or any government or any state or anything outside of ourselves can take away that unionship. So even the ones that love us the most, our sisters and our brothers, our beloved intimate ones, our spouses, our sons, our daughters, our mothers, our fathers, our uncles, our aunties, our best friends. The fact is even they, with the amount of love they have for you, or you have for them, they cannot take away or have any bearing truly at the deepest of levels of unionship. Unionship. This is essentially what Ka-mu-university is based on. The foundations of unionship. Now, as we move and merge into the sacred lands of Mount Shasta, there is a union ship community. Yes, oh yes, it's been here for thousands, tens of thousands of years in our Earth time. And yet they are choosing to vibrate at a different dimensional reality. And they're one of many different subterranean, inner Earth convergence points of different human souls that are closer in dimensional unionship with Source, choosing to live in a vibrant atmosphere. And yet that vibrant atmosphere has also been hijacked. It has been hijacked by the New Age. It has been hijacked by different systems of falsehoods, false light, false channels. And really the only way to access Telos, which has become such a huge part of the great mountain of Shasta. And I know this more than anyone because I was drawn to Mount Shasta almost 2 decades ago because of my connection to Telos and my connection for the first time sharing publicly to my deepest unionship, which is my twin inner flame. And this beloved, this beautiful, incredible woman, soul in a woman's body, has been around for over 15,000 years. And we have first come together many moons ago. Tens of thousands of years ago. Even beyond our concept of time. Ages and eons. Kalpas. But truly, what I can say is that what I've learned is that Mount Shasta, through our beloved union, is that the twin flame is really about world service. It is about sovereign pillar of unionship. So in ancient times, the great Lemurian civilization of Telos held 2 temples here in Mount Shasta. One was the temple of divine sovereignty and a pillar of connection with the great central sun. So you would come into this temple, you would make a pilgrimage to this temple, you would be called to this temple or invited to this temple to merge with omniversal presence, to fully connect, embody, and master your own enlightened heart sovereignty with the unified field of the temple of the great central sun. And then, once all of the different initiations and different levels of assimilation were integrated and applied, you would then be eligible to make a pilgrimage to the other side of the mountain, to merge, if it was in your soul's blueprint, to merge with the great, significant, beloved unionship of the twin flame. So the second temple was the twin flame, or temple of divine union, in which you would then merge through your own self-sovereign, beloved unionship with this significant reflection, or the twin flame. And the only reason that you would merge with the twin flame or connect with the twin flame was to become 2 pillars of unified field embodiment. And the catch was, it was for world planetary service. That you would be able to hold the frequency and the vibration in every breath, in every walk, in every run, in every dance, in every movement, in every song, in every speech, in every single telepathic transmission. Because at that time, 300 million souls were using telepathy. And the way in which you would merge with the beloved in that divine union twin flame temple was that you would then receive the service ray blueprint codes for the Codex, which means a whole blueprint of codes for how you would best serve different surface planetary human populations. It was like you received a mission. And now, here, in this moment, after the great fall, and after the great fall of Atlantis, and the great war that Atlantis and Lemuria were involved in, and then Lemuria fell, and then Atlantis fell. There was then a whole contingent of beloved beings from Lemuria that were able to access the deep cavern chamber in another dimensional reality below Mount Shasta, which then became Telos Shasta, or Telos Lemuria. And so for those who are understanding, understanding, deeply comprehending the connection with this particular race of beings, then they understood that one of the last pillars of Lemuria that could hold a contingency of vibrational frequency close enough to the unified field about 12 to 13,000 years ago was being able to vibrate into Telos and not experience all of the natural disasters that were premeditated by strife, suffering, and ultimately war, and the implosion of our second moon into the waters around the great civilization and the island of Mu, and later known as the three islands of Li, Mu, and Rhea, which makes Lemuria. So many of you, not all of you, but many of you know me from there. Yes, I was there. And so was my twin flame. And the big portion of the service call was to be able to get to Telos. Because at the time there were over 300 million souls that are having Lemurian experiential bodies. And only about 20,000 actually made it vibrationally into the mountain before the destruction of the motherland. And those 20,000, and many of you and some of you on this transmission may start to receive the energetic memory bank in the Akashic record field of this separation from your twin flame, of this separation from your core unionship beloved. And it was a time of great strain and a great fall into separation and suffering. But this had been long hearkened back, even before, to ancient Mu times, before the split. So this had already been preconceived as a karmic anomaly that needed to come into full causation. And the effects were then finally revealing themselves in this destructive experience. And so my twin flame and myself were separated, and she entered into Telos, and I was outside, holding the circle flame as the waters came in, and the rushing of the mountains torrentially being flooded as boulders crashing around, and the entire civilization and the great island of Lemuria sank into the oceans of peace. And those that made it into Telos were able to merge and go into a unified state of all about 20,000. And they circled up. And they were able to sing the songs and do the deep, coherent meditation to be able to access the transference of consciousness that allowed them to vibrate at the frequency of the fourth dimension. So they didn't have to experience the deep, cataclysmic separation on the third. The implosion of the 3D. So the reason why I am so deeply, deeply desiring to transmit this message is because we are now coming into those same situations on this planet. We are coming into the same scenes in our collective holographic movie. The same kind of strife and strain that was experienced in the end days of both Lemuria and Atlantis, the motherland and the fatherland, is now happening again. Except now, it's not two great civilizations. It's now affecting the whole entire planet. So, on this beautiful day, on this gorgeous day, in this moment, I tell you a story. I share this story of Calm University Telos because Calm University is the project for us to vibrate in unison together. When we can come together and gather and understand how to embody and master the Codex, not just the codes, but the Codex, the blueprint of embodiment and self-sovereign heart mastery, then when we come together, we can literally focus all of our attention and be so clear and so coherent that we live in a new model of coexistence. And when you choose to live in a model of coexistence, then every single thought that streams through every single brain that's in that circle, that's choosing Kamu to birth the universe in every single breath, we began to ripple effect and no longer experience the cause and effect, the karma of the 3D. We start to literally ascend beyond the thought patterns, the feelings, and the emotional wave of those who are still rooted in three-dimensional fear, limitation, manipulation, shame, blame, guilt, judgment, rape, pillage, war, strife, strain, trials and tribulations every day, over and over. And yes, right now, us as lighthouses, we're being called out. We're being called out to bring the Ka-Mooniverse to the people. To bring the great silence after union to the people. And those who know and feel this transmission, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You're a lighthouse. And there are other lighthouses that are holding it down in the citadels all around the world. Like acupressure, acupuncture, needles. Human needles vibrating as best as they can. And I know it's challenging. I've talked about it a lot. We see what's about to happen. We all feel it. And yet we also feel this great resurgence of the now earth. And I say now because it's no longer the new earth, it's no longer the old earth. It's literally an ancient future breath of now. And this is literally the vibration of what Telos represents as a frequency and a vibration when I say those names. And they also too are dealing with hijack an infiltration of dark forces from the deep bowels of Agartha inside of our Mother Earth's womb, which the surface of the planet dwellers share, as well as the inner Earth dwellers share, and the subterranean city dwellers share. We all dwell. We are all dwellers in the threshold for this entire planet. And so my work as a visionary of Communiversity, or pronounced very easily as Communiversity, is to be able to transmit this story, transfer this consciousness, and allow you to see something in your soul star, the deep memory field in your own Akash, to remember, to become a rememberer, that you are a lighthouse, that you are a distiller of duality. You distill it, and you can take that poison that's being offered to you, and you can transmute it into the highest vibrational elixir possible. And this is literally in the times we're living in right now. We have to step fully in to our Communiversity Telosian mastery. We have to watch every single thought that's being electrically impulsed between the left and right hemispheres of your brain. You have to watch every single thought that merges then into a feeling that creates that magnetic pulse, electromagnetic pulse. And then we have to choose to come together in a new geometry, a new circular round wheel, a new way of modeling the governance of how we can intelligently organize, self-organize, collectively organize. Because if, and not when, and not even if, it's just a matter of when, things start to implode in the matrix based on a square. The square starts to no longer be safe or secure. We will have to start to figure out how to come together in the spiral. And the greatest languaging that is fully connected to the universe is the 5 Platonic forms, that in harmony with those forms and elements, the 5 elements merge and marry and interweave on the spiral, which allows the interfacing of what we have been sharing and actualizing as the Coherent Living Model, CLM. So all of these ways in which we can then drop into the possibilities of how to come together has been duly inspired by beloved family in Telos from the 5th dimension and way beyond. And they are not perfect, just as you are not perfect. They are working on things just as you are working on things, just as I am working on things every day. But when we can find the vibration of connection